Hello everyone, welcome to Information 2 Software. I'm Hao-Wen, and today I would like to introduce our database backup and recovery functionality. This functionality supports the multiple database platforms, including the SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, IBM DB2, and more. For this demonstration, I will focus on the SQL Server first. I prepared the three environments, Oracle Console Server to initialize the i2Backup platform. Please ensure you already installed the list of the modules and prepare the storage unit on your i2Backup platform. If you need the guidance on creating the storage unit, please refer to the previous video storage unit creation instruction. I also prepared the production server with the SQL Server, and I need to do the backup for the specific database, the 777 test here, and recover the database to another SQL Server 72 disk. Well, first we need to configure both the backup and recovery SQL Server. Open the SQL Server Management Studio and navigate to the Security, and then Logins. Double-click the NT Authority and System. Select Server Roles. We need to assign the sysadmin to both production SQL Server and the recovery SQL Server. So we need to do the same thing on another server. Okay, now let's move to the i2Backup platform. Go to Resource, DR Backup Resource, and Node. We need to register the two servers as a node to the i2Backup platform. I already did that, and so I'm going to explain which role we need to assign to this node. Let's go to Role Setup. This time we need to assign the backup client. Generally, it always assigned to your node default, so we just confirm it and leave this page. Don't forget to confirm the role assignment to another server. Alright, and we can go to the database section. Here, the page lists all supported database platforms. Then I select the SQL Server and click New. The node should be the 72 as a recovery server, and that doesn't matter, we can just exchange the sequence later. And it will detect the SQL Server automatically, and we just need to confirm the instance name, then submit it. Subsequently, let's click the configuration. The protocol section depends on your database server setting. By default, it's usually shared memory, but if you choose the TCP or IP algorithm, please don't forget to enter the port used to connect your database. And regarding the login information, well, because I log into my database using the Windows credentials, so in this case I will select the first option. If your database uses a specific username and password, please select the second one. And the driver, I will select the corresponding driver, ODBC driver 17, and authenticate it. Then confirm it. And of course, if you are not sure which driver you should choose, you can go back to your Windows environment. In your Windows search bar, let's search for ODBC data source. and click drivers. There it will list the corresponding ODBC driver for the SQL Server. Well, I only got the one driver for SQL Server, but if you have the multiple one, please choose the newer version of it. Alright, let's go back to the i2App and finish the configuration for another server. And now we can create the backup rule. I already prepared the database on my production server and create the table 77 table 1. Also, I just insert the data inside. I just create the server name as the original data need to do the backup. Yep. On another server, I only got the 72 test, and there's no any tables. So I will do the recovery for this server. The 77 table 1 will exist on the 72 test database. Alright, let's go back to the i2App platform, navigate to the backup restore. App protect. Backup rule. Let's continue to create one. We name it as, let me see, it's the 77 backup. And select the role type as SQL Server. Click Next. We should select the corresponding SQL Server need to do the backup. So this time, let's just select the 77 Win Server Backup and confirm it. The backup target, let's select the storage unit. In this case, we just check the only TCP or IP algorithm as a transmission link. Next. It will detect all the SQL Server path authentication we did just now. And regarding the auto-discover database, if you enable it, the system will back up all the data inside of your SQL Server automatically. But because this time I just want to do the backup for the single database, so I just disable it and select the specific database, the 77 test. Then next. Here, we can create the one full backup plan and several incremental plans. Let's click the new to configure each of them. And I will do the full plan first, so we can just select the backup type as a full backup. But of course, you can select any other, such as differential incremental backup or the log backup. Well, the retention level is a time period to save the data in the storage unit, and the default, it will keep this data for 1 week. But of course, you can customize it as a 2 week or anyone else. So we just leave it as a default, then click the time window. On this page, the backup time window represents the time range during which the backup rule can run. Default is 24 hours a day, the 7 days a week. And if you click the restart, you can select your own time period, just like this. And the start time window, well, this window refers to the time range during which a backup plan can trigger the backup task. Also default to the full week, and the time period is always smaller or equal to the backup time window. So we can select the specific time window here and go to next. Here we can select a lot of different type of the plan, including instance, once by minute, hourly, daily, etc. Generally, we set the daily, weekly, or monthly for the full plan, and the short-term type for the incremental plan. That depends on your backup strategy. And in this example, I'm going to select instant, because once I submit my role, the backup task will be executed immediately. So just order to my demonstration. Alright, let's confirm it and go to next. In the advanced page, you can set the prescript to determine if the role should be wrong or not, or configure the compression, encryption, or any specific requirement of the bandwidth settings. I will leave the page as a default because I don't have such requirement. So let's click next, confirm all the configuration above, then submit the role. Alright, the initial status should be scheduling. We can go to the dashboard, the backup task, to check the status change. And if we click the task details, it will demonstrate all the details regarding the progress. And the task log, you can check is there any issue or error occur during the process. After the process be finished, you can check the result on the task result section. The status becomes finished already. So let's go back to the backup and restore section. Click the backup set manage. Here we can find all the backup set we created by the backup role, and we can click view to check the specific details. To find the corresponding backup set, we need to do the recovery later. And of course, the object is a 7 test is the correct one. So let's go back to the backup set manage. Click restore to create the recovery rule. We name it as 7 to 72 recovery. And click next. Because most of configuration is already finished by the system, so we can leave this page as default. Click next. And we should select the restore target client. The client should be the server you should do the data recovery. This time it should be the 72 Win server recovery. And the target example, of course, it's SQL Server of the recovery server. And then the target database name. It's a database we need to save the data from the backup set. So this time it should be the 72 test database. Check the TCP IP and click next. Confirm it and submit it. Let's go back to the backup task and check the progress again. Alright, since the state has become finished, we can just go back to the 72 recovery server. Alright, like we can see, there is 7 table 1 exists, and let's check the content of it, and it should be totally same as production server. V, Nero, Dante, Virtual, etc. And it's totally same as production server. So the whole process of the SQL Server Backup and Recovery is already complete. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.